Okay, would you please stand? I call this meeting of the Austintown Township Trustees to order for August 26, 2019. Would you all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Davis?
Here.
Mr. Crano?
Here.
Mr. Litt?
Here. You know what? I do apologize. Would you all please stand? A young man just died at, 98 years old. Robert Bishop, and Bob Bishop was, and the greatest story, I got to interview him 3 times. He was let me get it absolutely correct, he was he was a petty officer, first class in the U.S. Navy, and his job was to fire those big guns on the USS Tennessee. He was there right after he graduated from Fitch High School in 1939, I believe. In 1940 he went in, and he was there in Pearl Harbor when it was attacked. He lived through that, and he lived through all the other things that the USS Tennessee went into for the rest of the wars. The best part about him, he was an exciting, and he was not a big man, but he was an exciting, articulate young man who constantly would talk about the war, the Navy, and everything else. Just an absolute wonderful man. He passed away very nicely. If anyone could pass away nicely, he did, and just recently. But in his honor, can we have a moment of silence? I thank you, and Bobby will shoot the guns for us. It's my pleasure now to introduce you to the members of our staff. To the far right is the director of the Senior Center, Jim Henshaw. Next to him is our park superintendent, Todd Schaefer. Next to him is our fire chief, Andy Frost. Next to him is Police Chief Bob Cavalier. Our zoning inspector is not here, so it'll probably be a short meeting. No, he'll be coming.
He's coming.
He's coming, okay.
He's on the way.
He could count on that. Our township administrator and our road superintendent is Mike Dockery. To my right is trustee Jim Davis. To my left is trustee Doug McGlynn. And our lovely fiscal officer, Lori Wolf. And I am Ken Carano, the trustees. May I have a motion, please, to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of August 12, 2019?
So moved. Second.
Mr. Crano?
Yes.
Mr. Litt?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Okay, Michael, administrator's report.
You may have seen it, the city of Youngstown kind of jumped the gun and released the information about the new natural gas rate. As you know, our broker includes our needs along with the city of Youngstown. I think there's about 4 other entities, maybe Boardman Struthers, I'm not sure who else. When they go out to purchase, first of all, when they go out to bid, and then exactly when we purchase the gas. Our broker recently purchased the gas, and it's going to be $2.93 per MCF. And that's down from $3.34. That's the lowest I can ever remember. And that will start with the October billing cycle. If you're presently in the plan or have not yet chosen a supplier, you will get a letter telling you you're going to be automatically enrolled. You don't have to do anything. So that's the key. Everybody that's in the plan is going to get a letter. It's just simply going to say, if you want to stay with us, you don't have to do anything. If someone is not in our plan and they want to get in, then they need to contact IGS Energy.
If I may, am I correct in saying that you could join and drop out?
You can. There's no termination fee.
Okay. Well, that's a good price. If you notice, you're getting phone calls like crazy at home and in your cell phone. They're calling constantly from all kind of different consortiums that are dealing with electric and gas consortiums. Watch yourself, watch what you do, don't make your commitment until you get more information from them. because 4 of them are under indictment now, with the idea that they did things incorrectly on the phone and so on. So watch yourself. Anything else, Michael?
No,
Paving starts when?
I hope by the next meeting it has started, but as far as I know, he's still in Canfield.
That's when we all have to take the vacation, because as soon as they start paving, we're getting a million phone calls from people who aren't getting paid.
I would just hope with the recent dry weather, they haven't missed much time, so hopefully they're here soon after the holiday.
Chief Cavalier, anything going on in the police department?
Have nothing to add to the report.
Okay. Chief Frost? Our zoning inspector isn't here, so let's move on to the park. Todd, what's going on in the park?
The only thing I want to inform the board and the public is on Friday, September 27th, we'll be having our Apple Festival at the Austintown Farmers Market out at the park from 5 to 8 o'clock. Also, Jungle Terry will be out there that day at the farmers market performing 2 shows with his wild animals. So I'm inviting the public to come out and join us for the Apple Festival and Jungle Terry shows on, again, it's Friday, September 27th from 5 to 8.
Just for curiosity, when are there plans made to shut down part of the park, like the water thing and so on?
The splash pad, we normally keep it open for a couple weeks, a week or 2 after Labor Day weekend, depending on the weather. I'll keep an eye on the weather, see how warm it's going to be. I'll post it on the park website and park Facebook page as to when we come up with the final date, to let the public know well in advance as to when it's going to shut down.
Thank you. Any questions, guys? Okay, let's go to the senior center. Jim, what's going on in the senior center?
Well, it's Canfield Fair time, and the senior center will be well represented out there again this year. We have, I think we have 13 people that submitted wine. We have a great winemaking program and brandy making program. Our artists will be out there, our builders will be out there, we'll have photography out there, the knitters will be out there, the wood carvers will be out there, and a lot of them stuff is all done at the senior center. So we're always well represented at Canfield Fair, so please go out and take a look at what we do.
Okay, folks, now comes the hard part. Back to Derek and our zoning inspector.
I would ask the board to approve a nuisance resolution under Ohio Vice Code 505.87 to declare the following properties a public nuisance. 93 North Edgehill Avenue, high grass and weeds. 154 Forest Hill Drive, high grass and weeds within the rear yard, and a detached building within the rear yard needing disrepair to be repaired or removed. 4317 through 4351 Kirk Road, that's the plaza. Permanently remove the donation drop-off box due to overflowing of plastic bags visible.
Would you hold on one second? Is that an air conditioning?
Yes. Was it this loud the last meeting?
It was,
Or
it
louder?
was squeaky more than it was.
Okay.
Loud.
He said if it continues, and he was here, and we turned it back on, he went up and did some work, and it was normal sound that I remember. This is louder than what I remember from last week. So what he thinks it is the ducts need to be, the ducts are shaking. What
The
he
ducks
thinks-
in the arms.
What he thinks the problem is. So I'll get it back here and take a look at
All right,
that.
thank you. I'm sorry, Derek, go ahead.
5050 Kirk Road, high grass and weeds within the rear yard. 103 South Main Street, high grass and weeds and junk debris within the garage and yard area. We also asked the Board of Health to abate that for rents. 137 North Main Street, fallen trees. 291 Marcia Drive, high grass and weeds. 117 North Navarre Avenue, high grass and weeds and junk debris. 1319 Northfield Avenue, high grass and weeds. 5560 Northwest Boulevard, high grass and weeds. 2206 Penny Lane and 2220 Penny Lane, high grass. 8 North Raccoon Road, high grass. 1705 to 1739 South Raccoon Road, junk and debris around the dumpsters with high grass and weeds along the southerly and easterly fence line. 1741 to 1747 South Raccoon Road. High grass and weeds at the southerly and easterly sections of the building. That's before we're moving out. 2509 Redgate, high grass and weeds within the rear yard. 4605 Greenbelt Avenue, high grass and weeds. 5617 Stanford, high grass and weeds and garbage. 74 Lyle Road, junk and debris throughout the yard. 5445 and 5470 Virginia Drive, high grass and weeds. 4253 Wedgewood Drive, high grass and weeds. 5149 Willow Crest Drive, high grass and weeds. And 607 Windcliff Circle, high grass and weeds.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
And then I would ask the board to approve a motion to find the following motor vehicles meet all the following criteria. 3 model years or older, apparently inoperable, extensively damaged, including but not limited to any of the following: missing wheels, tires, engine, or transmission. Declare the following vehicles public nuisances under High-Rise Code 505.871, order removal of junk vehicles within 14 days after notice is served to the property owner. 2289 Penny Lane, an inoperable silver vehicle with an expired license plate DHM 2252 parked exposed manner within the driveway.
Motion?
So moved. Second.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes. And just one last thing for the board's information. Bids were due last Friday for the demolition of the big lots. I didn't count how many bids we received. Probably, if I could guess, maybe a dozen. I have done nothing with them. When I put the property out for bid, I used the 2017 asbestos survey that I had done. And unbeknownst to me, there was a change to EPA law. So the company that did the survey contacted me and said it would be wise to resurvey it, so I haven't do that. So I'm going to issue an addendum. And it looks like we're not going to have to remove as much asbestos as I originally would have had to remove in 2017. So I'm hoping to get that addendum written and then get it out to everyone who bid. And then once I get all that back, and I'll set probably this Friday, depending on how quick I can get this thing out, or next Friday to have the updated bids, then I'll open everything, put together a bidders list, and hopefully at the next meeting bring to you guys our proposals to who we think should tear the building down. Because of the size and complexity of that project, I didn't want to do asbestos separately. Normally when we tear a house down or a small commercial project, we'll do asbestos on our own. But I included that in the bid just so that we wouldn't have to bother with it. So anyways, I have nothing for you at this meeting, but hopefully we can wrap it up for the next meeting.
Only when you get a chance, you can talk to them. This is one of the big part of our meetings, the summertime, grass, things of that sort and so on. And he'll explain to you, we send letters out, and if they don't do it, we cut it, and we charge them. Okay. Lori, what do we got for the fiscal officer?
I don't have anything besides my reports right now. I'm working on the fair. That's where my brain is.
You know, let's spend our time here. Gentlemen, let's tell everybody how great she is. How many years have you been doing this?
7.
7 years. It's not an easy task. In the township building, they have a spot for each of the townships. We get a little bit bigger, of course. Lori knows how to stretch it a little bit further. But the thing is, she gets all the information and so on and puts it on the display. So she's down there working, setting it all up. So we thank you. Motion to approve July report submitted to the board on the August 12th meeting for fund status, revenue status, and appropriation status.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Under new business, we have motion pursuant to ORC's 505.10 to approve public auction to be held on Saturday, September 21st, 2019 at 10 a.m. here at the Township Maintenance Building, 66 Old Town Road, Austintown. Mike, you want to explain that?
Well, we're setting the auction because you'll see in the next paragraph, you're going to declare 4 police department automobiles that are obsolete, we no longer need them, and that the Iowa Revised Code requires that in the case, if they're over $2,500 in value, that we sell by public auction. So that's the reason, to set the auction, and then you're going to name and be the 4 automobiles. We'll have more next meeting, but these 4 automobiles right now, we know are going to be sold at the auction.
In the old days, there were a lot of other things being sold, things from the police department. Is that not the case here, strictly the cars?
Well, the cars are what brings the people and what we advertise. That's what brings people to the auction. But we'll have other miscellaneous items there.
Okay. All right, motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes. Motion pursuant to ORC's 505.10 to find that the below listed items of property are not needed for public use, are obsolete, and are unfit for the use for which it was acquired, and the fair market value is in excess of $2,500, so that the property shall be sold by public auction. From the police department, we have a 3019 Ford Explorer with 148,000+ miles, 2013 Ford Taurus miles, 121,000+ miles, 2014 Ford Explorer with mileage of 137,000+, and 2015 Ford Explorer mileage 138,000+. Motion, please.
So second.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion to approve advances from the general fund, that's line 1,000 to $100,000 to communications, line 6002.
So moved. Second.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yeah. So we get enough tax,
Police readers.
this is an advance, not a loan, so we did get enough money from the taxes
We have
already.
some, yeah,
Okay.
either repaid.
Okay, good. Motion to approve repayment of advances to the general fund from $50,000 from police, $50,000 from the road.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
Okay, the Ohio Liquor Control Division, whether to request a hearing on notice to legislative authority to permit transfer from Emilio's on Raccoon Road, Austintown Township, permit 2506732, permit classes C1, C2, to SP Drive to doing business as Emilio's Drive-Through, 1255 South Raccoon Road. Chief, any objections?
No objections.
Okay. Motion, please.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Okay, now the part of the public response. We have it 2 ways. You can do it off camera or on camera. What we ask you to do is come up and give us your name and your address, and then you can talk to us. Is there anyone here who would like to speak to the trustees off camera? Hey, wait. Danny, you don't have to turn it off, that's good. Okay, is there anyone here who would like to speak to the trustees on camera? Wow. Boy. Why, thank you.
Don't stall before they change.
Yeah, right. Okay, now it's our turn to remarks from the board members. Lori, anything to talk about?
I don't have anything today.
Okay. Doug, what do you got?
Just a couple things. School starts tomorrow in Austintown, so be aware of the buses and the kids. For the next couple of days, they'll be in and then they'll be out for the rest of the week for the fair. So we'll be aware of that. Also, August 28th is the band night. That's 6 bands and it starts at 7 o'clock. And the cost per adult is $5 to pay admittance. And if you get a chance and you're at the fair, make sure you go into the government building and check out all the different displays that each township has put up. And Lori does a phenomenal job and does a great job of showing what we have in the township.
Okay, thank you. James?
Doug went ahead and took care of band night, so that's good. We've got that wrapped up. I quickly just want to offer my personal condolences to the family of Bob Bishop. I got to know Bob over the years as being a township trustee, and had a chance to honor him as the Grand Marshal of our 4th of July parade. He and his wife rode in the parade and were the Grand Marshals. But, you know, sometimes a lot of men and women in the military don't like to talk about the war. And that was one thing about Bob, was that he took that opportunity to share his experiences with you. Bob loved to tell stories about things that happened during Pearl Harbor and his time in the military as he served. And we truly benefited from having Bob Bishop here in Austintown. He spoke to the kids at the schools, spoke to Ken several times on ACTV, and if you had the chance to sit down with him one-on-one, you benefited. Number one, just from him being a friend. He was, we used to call my grandpa, I used to say all the time, and my cousins would say, we had the cutest little grandpa. And, you know, you hear Ken talk about him running these heavy artillery. Bob, now, of course, he was probably a little bit bigger back in his heyday, but if you saw Bob recently, he was about 5 foot nothing, 100 nothing, soaking wet. But he was the sweetest little old man, and you were so lucky to have him as a friend and sit down and talk to him and just to converse with him. He loved to tease you. He would always tell me that he was going to run for trustee. And I have no doubt in my mind that Bob could have got elected probably if he ran, because just everybody held him near and dear to their heart. Up until this past year, Bob attended almost every Memorial Day celebration that I can remember being a part of in my 10 years as township trustee. He always placed a wreath on behalf of the fallen at Pearl Harbor. That ceremony to share in the memory of his comrades that lost their lives in Pearl Harbor. And he was truly a legend, a hero, and just a gem to the Austintown community. And my condolences go out to his daughters and his family. I know I'm going to miss seeing him around. Speaking of people being honored, I didn't get to attend it because it was like I found out about it last minute. And I just want to say that I thought it was wonderful from the pictures that I've seen and the videos that I've seen of the tribute to Coach Annarella that took place Friday night at Greenwood Chevrolet Falcon Stadium. I was truly impressed by the fact that they did that. I think, number one, it is owed to Coach Annarella for what he has meant to the Austintown community and the students that he has coached, but just for everything that he has done. He is truly an exceptional man as well. And once again, when you talk about people that we're blessed to have be a part of our community, Coach Annarella is one of them. So kudos to the school district and football team for honoring Coach Annarella like that. I can tell you that I am excited for band night coming up on Wednesday night. We got the best band in the land, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. Now, I will prelude this with, I didn't attend it because it was in Boardman, but Boardman had their band night. It was Boardman.
Here we go.
No, I'm going to tell you. It was Boardman, Howland, and Austintown. And if you would have read the comments about the performance that those bands put on, it was unbelievable from what I've heard. So this is probably, I love our band, and I like to go to band night, but I'm looking forward to this because from what I've heard that happened over at Boardman, I can't wait to see. Hopefully they live up to the hype because it is supposed to be exceptional. And finally, we talked about Laura decorating for the Canfield Fair. I always post on Facebook that Austintown won the blue ribbon for the best booth. Unfortunately, that is only in our hearts, but Laura does a great job. But I like to tell everybody that sometimes you don't attend the fair and everybody thinks it's like a festival. You just go there and you smell the horse manure and you eat the food and that's it. And if you want to ride rides, it costs you a fortune to ride rides and that's all. Why do I want to go to the fair? Well, we started a couple of, well, it's been, I shouldn't say a couple of years ago, it's been quite a while. When I was married, my ex-wife was a teacher, for those of you that don't know, and she still does this to this day with her students. But a lot of people think that the fair is just food and rides, and that's it. And there's some animals there, and if you want to see them, you go see them. But there are so many things, and you hear Jim talk about the winemaking and the arts and the photography. There's so much to do at the fair that she had created, with my help, because of my love for the fair. I have not missed a fair. This will be my 43rd fair. Okay? So there's so much to do that we created a scavenger hunt for her students to go on and to find different things at the fair, whether it was the lamb's ear in the Western Reserve Village. And for those of you that don't know what lamb's ear, it's actually a plant. You're not actually looking for an animal, you're looking for a plant. But there are so many different things about the Canfield Fair that you can do. Chief Frost, what day are the fire trucks going to be there?
Friday.
Friday morning. All of the ladder trucks will be in front of the grandstand on display from all over the different townships. Now, we like to brag a little bit because Austintown does have the largest ladder truck. So go out and check those out. There's a band night. There's band performances during the day, cheerleading demonstrations. There are church services on Sunday. There are so many concessionaires from right here in Austintown that will be there. But make sure, if you get a chance, walk into those buildings, see the different things, step outside of your comfort zone, maybe of just going there and getting a sausage sandwich and a lemon shake and a french fry and leaving, and walk into those buildings and check them out. Because the Canfield Fair is truly a fun thing to do here in the Mahoning Valley. People say all the time, there's nothing fun to do in this town. You've got it this coming weekend, starting Wednesday through Labor Day. I guarantee you'll see me there a couple of days.
We continue that with the Canfield Fair. I used to love going to the Canfield Fair before I lost my weight because I could go see the hogs. They made me feel fit. So, you know, that's the funniest thing though. People go to the Canfield Fair. The young people don't remember it, but I can remember days when I was in Camel, people in Austintown shut everything down because everybody worked at the fair. The fair has so much involved that people go there, they go to eat, and they walk around, but they don't go into the farm areas and stuff like that to see those displays. And keep in mind, the Canfield Fair is the second largest fair in the state of Ohio. It is only second to the state fair. And if it weren't, I think if they counted correctly, they would be bigger than the state fair, except the state fair has a wider area to go to. So, going back to Bob Bishop, you know, Bob was part of this community. This community is a veterans community. It always has been, always will be. And with that in mind, for those of you who have time, this Wednesday, the two guys who are bound at the hip, Ken Jacobek and Leo Conley, are taking care of something in Youngstown. In the square in Youngstown at noon, Youngstown will be declared a Purple Heart community. So you could be there. Here in Austintown on September the 5th, out by Quaker State, which is giant size. The Loop is the giant size backer of veterans. We even changed the name of their street in front and so on. But the 13th annual Patriot Day is taking place at 6 p.m. If you are a veteran, if you have a card, or if you're wearing a uniform, you get to eat with 20% discount. But it's more importantly, it is there to honor many veterans, and not just from Austintown or even Mahoning County. It is a wide tri-county area that people are invited and are honored that day. It is, if you haven't seen a skydiver come in, that is phenomenal. You have to come down, just, if nothing else, to see the skydiver coming in. I've been getting phone calls, all of a sudden, there are Spectrum trucks. This town was the one who led it with Armstrong. Armstrong came in and put in their cable television and everything here, and that was, when the FCC at that time set up the rules, they were the ones who got the contract for Austintown. All of a sudden, there's a Spectrum truck going up now, and they're putting wires up. Mike, you want to tell them what you told me?
About the franchise.
Yes.
Well, back in the day when Armstrong ran their lines, the township was the one that actually granted the franchise. I don't know how many years back we go, 10 plus years, the state took over all the franchise of those type of franchises. Any franchise granted now is now granted by the state. So if Spectrum's running lines, then the state has granted them a franchise to do so. We have nothing to do with it.
That's the most important thing for you to understand, because we've had a strong connection with Armstrong for years. But once again, the state, at that time, it was our right by the Federal Communications Commission to be able to issue a contract. It has been taken over by the state of Ohio. The state of Ohio doesn't, we have absolutely no say in it whatsoever. So people are calling me and they're yelling, how could you do this, to Armstrong? And I'm going, we're not doing anything, Armstrong. I didn't even know about Spectrum until I saw the truck there. So there'll be competition with that coming up. I don't know how that's going to affect our television stations and a few other things. We don't know, because a lot of the stuff that they are going is through Armstrong. So we will be doing that. By the way, since I brought up the television thing, Austintown Community Television was set up a long time ago. It was when I was still teaching and so on, and I had the honor of being in charge of it for the longest time. It is going to change its name. It is going to become now, it's going to go from Austintown Community Television to Falcon Media. And the reason for that is it does so much more now than it did before. Before it was simply cable television. Now it's on YouTube, the internet, all over, and there are so many different activities that they decided to do it. Now understand, we still have a deal. When we first got ACTV, it was through the township. The township had the right of, with that Armstrong and everything else, they had the right to control that television station. We made a deal, there was an agreement between, and it still stands, between the trustees and the Board of Education, that together the executive committee of the Falcon Media is a combination of the two, and we still do things. So gentlemen, may I have a motion to accept the change of name to Falcon Media from Austintown Community Television?
So moved. Second.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. McLean?
Yes.
Okay. One other thing about the schools, they're starting, and it's so strange, being a teacher for 37 years, and then all of a sudden not being a teacher. When you're a teacher, you always knew when the holidays were, when the weekends, the whole bit. I mean, it just stunned me all of a sudden that we're going back to school. I saw something in the paper, they're looking for bus drivers everywhere, especially here, school bus drivers. And I tell you, if you want to do it, if you're healthy enough and so on, can pass it, you make the application through the school system, they are looking for people. They pay for your instructions and stuff like that, to get your license and so on. The only thing I'm going to say is this. I have to say this, and the school board will tell you this. If you are a retired person, or if you are a widow, and you're taking compensation from your husband's past working system, be very careful. It's just like going to work over for $7 at Walmart and so on. Be very careful about the money that comes into you. Because in some cases, what happens is you take a job and that is deducted from your pension money and so on, and you never get it back, even after you lose that job. So obviously, I try to tell people constantly, find out first before you take a job, because as soon as you take the job and you get that first check, from that point on, it could hurt you. So find out first. Let's see what else. I think that's just about it. Except that I am so glad to see the Tribune Chronicle, as we all know, those of us who lived through the years with the Vindicator. I'm one of those guys that has to have a hard copy. I can't do it on the internet. I like to see the newspaper every morning and go through it. It was a tragedy to see that, unfortunately, in this day and age, and because of the economy and everything else, that newspapers are leaving us. Always understand, and newspapers, I used to teach this, newspapers lasted, no one believed that they would survive after we got television. But keep in mind, television was the one that fed us the information that we had to look in the newspapers. When you have news on television, an article, it could be about 15 seconds, maybe a minute, they'll talk about it. All they do is give you the first paragraph of an article, who, what, where, and how, of what happened here. The papers are the ones that you go in and look at and get all the details that you want to hear about. So I am just ecstatic that the Tribune has purchased the name, and they're going to, I understand, keep the name for the paper that's going to come around Mahoning County. They did not sell the building, but they bought all the other things and so on. And Ellie, please announce the last name to.
Oh, yes. It's Vugrinsic,
Vugrinsic.
and I won't be offended if you get it wrong.
Well, it's going to be Ellie from here, okay? But she is now the reporter, and then we were talking about J.T. Whitehouse is always here for our local paper. That paper is printed by the Warren Tribune, so therefore the combination of the two of them, and Ellie has taken over, and we're not going to see J.T. anymore for a while. We'll see him sometime,
You'll
okay?
still see it occasionally.
Good. Well, welcome. Well, us here at Austintown, we love having you here.
And I'm happy to be here.
Good, thank you. Okay, may I have a motion, please, to recess to executive session to consider the appointment, employment, discipline, or compensation of public employees?
So moved.
Mr. Frano?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. McLean?
Yes.
In association with Austintown Local Schools and Austintown Township.